Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroo.com. With your morning horners, your sip of chaga coffee. Happy birthday, Litecoin Lisa, 50. She's 50 years old. I said, hey, why don't you just say you're 40? No one will know. She looks great. She's having fun. Our favorite conspiracy nut. Love you, girl. Go to, they're partying over with Litecoin Lisa. I can't make it, but they're partying over there. Go check it out. Litecoin Lisa YouTube channel. I think they're starting at 2 o'clock West Coast time, so 5 o'clock, happy hour. Her and Clint and a bunch of unexpected friends, I think, might pop in. So go check that out. Also, I have, I'm in the processing stage of posting the latest Jenny Moonstone discussion. It's a big one. The Good Guys Silver Plan and the Theta Mega Meta Chain. Wow. Go check it out. We discover some new things. It's awesome. Silver was allowed to go up a little bit today. It doesn't matter. They're going to hold it until the transfer of all the physical silver in the world goes somewhere. Now it's already done. The deal has been done through derivatives, through basically taking JP Morgan's 1.2 billion ounces of silver, going through Bank of America, which we have proven many times. I don't think it's getting bigger. I think it's getting smaller. Remember, they grew their derivative book to over 1 billion ounces of silver on the OTC market. You know, the problem that the Hunt brothers had when they tried to get a bunch of silver was they went on the Comex. The Comex is a criminal exchange. Of course, they're going to change the rules, which they did. The OTC market, those are legal contracts. I think now there's 2 entities, and I'll get to that in a second. But definitely Bank of America, and then Bank of America passed it on. And remember, when this deal, the original deal was done for all of JP Morgan's silver, was the same year that the DOJ busted them. JP Morgan had to book $1 billion, it was $1 billion of gain just in their metals trading. $1 billion of gain in a single quarter. It was a one-time thing because they sold it. They had to get rid of it. It's the same time that they paid a $920 million fine. So they only made off with 80 million on that con. No, they made off with massive amounts of money over the past 15 years that they've been rigging the silver market. That's JP Morgan. Before that, it was Bear Stearns. Before that, Drexel Burnham. Before that, or AIG, Drexel Burnham. It just goes on and on. Every single entity has been destroyed by the silver short. So I don't think Bank of America did a silver short. I think it's a pass-through onto Warren Buffett and potentially this other guy. Remember, Warren Buffett's an investor. He's looking at investing in silver, just like he did in the 90s. He said the reason he invested in silver, and he only did 2% of Berkshire Hathaway. The reason he did it was the fact that there was a silver deficit, just like we're seeing right now. Not only is there a retail deficit, and not only are all the inventories around the world disappearing, Comex eligible or registered inventories are down from 150 million down under 40 million now, and should be gone by the end of the year. And then JP Morgan in the SLV claims to have 530. That used to be 730. So that's down 200 million. And we all know all that silver in SLV is rehypothecated silver, meaning it might be there, but there's multiple owners of that silver, which Jeff Curry of Goldman Sachs told us there was. So we believe Goldman Sachs when they say, they hedged all their silver positions. It's just the fraud is unbelievable. So we keep going. I do think there is an end date. I think it's, and that's why the OCC changed how they report the data for silver and gold derivatives. The number 2 guy at the OCC, it's always the number 2 guy who runs these things. The number 2 guy at the OCC is a JP Morgan guy. So that's why they had to hide what was going on. And they did it fairly successfully. The problem is they should have done it 2 years before when they started the massive derivative play. By the way, derivative numbers are getting imploded. More on the great stuff from Mike Say 98 on Twitter. Comex silver vaults dropped to 305 million. Now, I think Comex silver, it should be obvious to us. Now, the the vault totals are anybody storing silver there. It's just like a regular storage place. And out of the vault totals, my guess is 95% of that, maybe 98%, has been rehypothecated, meaning more than one owner. So SLV will own, we'll say they have so many ounces of silver, but they'll be owned by 3, 4, 5 different entities. And that's all orchestrated by JP Morgan. Obviously, JP Morgan switched from their own account to all their, quote, partners. It's on the Comex data. It's always the JP Morgan partners that are delivering silver. It's a con. And either the CFTC is too stupid, or more likely they're in on the game. Since there is a JP Morgan person on the CFTC and a Citibank person, two of the largest silver derivative players. So just keep that in mind. Of course, BlackRock, probably the most criminal pseudo hedge fund on the planet and one of the largest companies in the world as far as assets, is getting destroyed in the derivative market. They're a big derivative player, but they run SLV, believe it or not. They allow the rehypothecation of assets. They allow shorting of their shares, so that if you buy a share of SLV, according to the SLV prospectus, they have to put an ounce of silver in. But what they're doing is they're shorting. There's about 50 million ounces of shorted silver. So people are buying shares, but they're not putting the silver into the ETF. Another reason, get out. Get out of any mining stocks. They're crazy. You're crazy to own a miner stock. As the system falls apart, every country is going to wrap their hands around. You think Mexico is going to give anybody any value for their mining share within their borders when their whole country gets destroyed and there's no more money? Knowing what we know about how much silver was stolen from Mexico over the last 100 years, 33% of all the silver came from Mexico because of the criminal bankers, the criminal politicians. But now they know, or at least they should know. So we'll see what happens. I don't think any country would allow, especially a foreigner, to own metal in the ground within their country as the fiat system collapses. It'd just be stupid. Even in the United States, I don't think any of these mines will be run by the current operators. I think the country is going to look around and say, holy shit, things will change. And this was all in the Fed documents. I mean, I'm not making this shit up. It's all in the Road to Ruta documents that came out of the Fed Boston. You know, the teacher's guide was written in the early 1980s, or late 70s. Well, no, Stephen DeVoe wrote them in 1980, and then the comic book was released in 81 with the teacher's guide. And it was redone 2007, right before the old 2008 debacle, and everything went crashing around. And you don't believe me? Go read the comic book from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, where they talk about the Federal Reserve. And there's this little green guy running around singing songs about the Fed. Who does that remind you of? And what's his name? Glix, Glix. Classic. So I'm right. I'm 100% right. So I don't think any country is going to allow foreign ownership, definitely not foreign ownership, or even maybe not individual ownership of mines within the country. It all depends on how all that shakes out. Every country is going to have to decide for themselves. That's why Trump said Mexico is going to pay for the border wall. It's because they want to keep Americans out of Mexico. All the Mexicans, illegal aliens who are in here now, are going to run home when there's more prosperity there because of the silver price going into the thousands of dollars. Silver is so much more valuable than gold. It's kind of embarrassing. And the U.S. Mint knows it. That's why they are minting massive amounts of coins, but they're not giving them out to anybody. They've stopped. 100% they've stopped without announcing it either. There's been no announcement. Ventris Gibson, the HR professional that's in charge of the U.S. Mint right now, I don't think they're in rundown. I think they put the HR professional just to shut people up. Here's what we're doing. You're going to be working double shifts, triple shifts, but we're not going to sell anything to the public. We're not going to sell anything to the public. As a matter of fact, hey, why don't we all give that guy a call who's in charge of the bullion program? Here it is. United States Mint Department, the bullion program. Right there. Give him a call. 1-202-354-6829. This is the U.S. Mint Bullion Program. He has all the answers you need to know about why they're not selling any silver eagles coming out of the U.S. Mint. It's amazing. 1-202-354-6829. You'll get a guy on the phone. You'll get his message machine, and he never returns calls. Just keep leaving messages. Say, hey, buddy, you're legally required to make silver eagles. It's a law, and you're not doing it. You're legally required to sell it to the public at your cost, too. Right now, silver eagles are almost 100% premiums. What the hell is going on? They've only made, listen to this, they've only made about 25% of their capacity this year. And Ventress Gibson, I have a letter from here, from this woman, Ventress Gibson. Let me get it. Because I saved this one with my important letters. 2, 3. Of course, I lose it as soon as I look for it. Don't know where it is. I'll find it. But it's bragging how they have expanded the Silver Eagle processing facilities. They're making more Silver Eagles than ever before, probably 60, 70 million a year, except they're not selling them to anybody. This is insane, unless you know what's going on behind the scenes. And speaking of silver, really interesting, Jenny turned me on to this yesterday in our discussion, which again, you can find on the private Road. And it's right here. I've had some processing problems. Good Guys Silver Plan, I think I know officially what's going on, and we worked it out. This guy's involved in this too. Elon Musk is involved with the silver taking delivery. I've been screaming for a long time. Elon's not an idiot. Buffett's not an idiot. Elon's business will fold, collapse, and be gone if it can't get any silver, because he makes electric cars, massive users of silver, and of course the solar panels. Massive use. Even the space technology, massive users of silver. Anything high tech, there's silver in his flamethrower. And a little bit. It is crazy. And you know what? One of the things going on right now, I saw this quote the other day. Elon Musk makes an insane prediction. The billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk often makes the wildest promises. The business world is dazed. The declaration felt like an explosion, and everyone in the market shook as they absorbed the impact. The launcher of this latest rhetorical missile is, of course, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, serial entrepreneur, and the richest man in the world. Though investors and fans are used to Musk issuing huge proclamations, the tech tycoon took everyone by surprise when he suggested that Tesla would be valued at more than Apple Computer and the Saudi oil giant Saudi Aramco combined. Tesla's valuation will reach at least $4.5 trillion in the next few years, Musk estimated. He did not give a timeline. Apple's currently the world's most valuable company with market cap of $2.34 trillion. And Saudi Aramco, which is benefiting from soaring oil prices, has market value of $2.1 trillion. Between them, the two largest companies in the world are worth $4.5 trillion. So how could it that Elon Musk, how could he say that Tesla is going to be worth more than both of those combined? Very simple. Extremely simple. One, for the Saudi Aramco, I think they're lying. I'm sure they're lying. I also know that we're going to have new technologies come out for power generation. We're not going to need a lot of oil, but they don't have the oil in the ground. They just don't. They're buying offshore oil rigs. Why would they buy an offshore oil rig if they have all that oil in the ground? But the Apple is obvious. Where is Apple making all its products? In China. We're about to go to war with China. The salvos have already gone off. We're already restricting what can be sold to China as far as the fast chips. Right now, Apple should be saying, what the hell? And a lot of silver goes into Apple computers. So how would Elon Musk company be a lot more wealthy? Maybe Elon Musk, being the smart guy that he is actually buying the silver that he needs for his products right now. Maybe he already bought it. Don't forget, listen to what he said. He goes, I'm not Warren Buffett, Elon says. Is the key difference between him and the investor. He actually makes stuff. This is a great example of monetary silver and industrial silver. Elon Musk isn't all about the industrial silver. Warren Buffett's all about the monetary silver. I think they're working together. Ginny thinks they're working together. Check out what Ginny was saying. Listen to what he says. Elon Musk said, "I'm not an investor. I'm an engineer and manufacturing person and a technologist. I actually work and design and develop products. We're not going to have a portfolio investments or whatever." It's so true. And that's the key difference. Silver is not like gold. Gold is an investment metal. It is money. Silver is money, and it's more valuable money because it's also needed on this side of the balance sheet. Absolutely, Elon Musk has taken a lot of the silver. I think it's 2/3 now. About 2/3 of the silver has gone out of the Comex. 2/3 of it. And it's falling fast. It keeps dropping and dropping. It's 38 million ounces. That's all. SLV, nobody knows. It went from 720 down to 530 or something like that. 200 million ounces gone from there. And we don't even know if they own any of that, truthfully. Because JP Morgan, BlackRock, and JP Morgan are colluding to rig the silver price. Evie Hambro. Remember that name. He's the BlackRock silver trader. Deep into the cabal. Anyway, we also talk about, Ginny and I also talk about this week, we talk about the metaverse. And especially the meta chain. The meta chain that Theta is launching on December 1st will change the game for corporations. Google will have its own blockchain. Samsung will have its own blockchain. Sony will have its own blockchain. Apple will have its own blockchain. Amazon will have its own blockchain. All these blockchains will be run and powered by the Theta blockchain. That's what this allows the amazing invention of Theta and the Theta infrastructure. It allows subchains, meaning you can run your own blockchain on the Theta metaverse. It's called a meta chain. So the big problem with like Apple creating its own blockchain where it's the approver, it's completely centralized. If you have Theta, the Theta network, as the approver, it's not. Apple doesn't have to worry about it. Same with, Sony's a validator, but the validators have to go past the gauntlet of, there's going to be, I think, 20 or 30 validators. So they got to all agree to change something. And oh, by the way, all the Guardian nodes, myself included, will have to approve those. So it is extremely decentralized. And once this chain goes, it starts, it's off. It's off and running. Nothing you can do about it. Gary Gensler. It solves that huge problem with Gary Gensler. Yeah, he wants to take down the cryptos. We all know that. Can he do it with the destruction of the criminals at Tether? And I call them the pedo cabal. Probably, for a little bit. Remember, cryptos are the future. Silver is a reconciliation of 170 years of price suppression. Anyway, that's where we are at the Road to Ruta. If you want more information, go to roadtoruta.com. Put your name and email address in here. Oh, by the way, I just talked to David X22. That report will be coming out soon. Loves the conspiracy stuff, so do I. Unfortunately, YouTube won't let me talk about it, but that's all right. We talk about what we can on YouTube. You want the deep stuff, go to the private road. You get public road updates, just putting your name and email address in. And if you want to subscribe, hit subscribe today. And for all our subscribers, we're handing out a silver Road to Ruta Lives coin, coolest coin ever made, hand-painted heart. So here's how you make it, and go join the private road and get the behind-the-scenes action. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.